Today I'm going to talk about why past life regression, so basically connecting to your repressed part, connecting to your other versions is so important. If you are a type of a person like me who likes to analyze things, likes to think a lot and try to understand and solve things, and comes up a lot of variations, a lot of explanations that seem logical, this video might be an eye-opener for you. So I am very analytical. I'm in my head a lot. I love to process things. I love to see things very differently. And if you have been following the past few weeks, that I came up with these oppositions within the unconscious that were very logical and gave a lot of explanation, then this video can really show you how I was wrong, basically. And it doesn't mean that I was completely wrong. The problem is that the things I was talking about are one step ahead. So I didn't understand the next step. The next step is closer than what I was talking about. That's like, that's going to be later. In my previous video, I mentioned that I will focus on past life regression because this is what I believe I have to connect to. And if I really think about it, okay, now it's again, so the analytical part is very important as well to kind of give directions and see similarities and predictions based on past events. And this is the energetic self, that it contains this past events information. So you always need more information to see with your analytical mind more. And one of the things is that at the back of the body, we have a vagus nerve that is more connected to the energies and the energetic self. And to overcome that, to regulate that, you have to connect it up to the analytical mind. This is how I had my Kundalini awakening with analysis, that I moved from a fearful avoidant into an anxious preoccupied. And what really connected it, that instead of this fight that I don't understand you, I don't know what is happening, I could understand because I could remember and I could connect these parts within me. And now the front part is coming from the head, because this is top down to top, and this is top to down approach. And here you are naturally more analytical because this is how the system works. And to overcome that, to override it or regulate that, you have to connect to the energetic self. And this is what past life regression can really help with. So here, psychology can help, or a life coaching, or talking to other people, because to regulate the emotions, you need different perceptions. So you overcorrect this body to mind connection. And here what you have is that you have a mind to body, basically disconnection, and many things you don't feel, many things you repress. And in this part, past life regression can be very helpful to gain more understanding, to listen into deeper brainwaves. And deeper brainwaves are basically these repressed parts that you left behind. And brainwaves are beta, underneath alpha, underneath you have theta, and underneath that you have delta. The deeper you go, the more disconnected you are from them, because we are operating in beta. So yesterday I made up my mind to look into a life, but instead of looking into asking questions, I decided to connect to it energetically. I wanted to feel how I felt in that life and understand the connection or disconnection with this specific person, because so far what I knew that I was unfair with him, and because I used him. And the reason for that is because even when I met him, I already knew I didn't want to stay in the relationship. I wanted someone else, and that's why it was labeled as I was using him. But yesterday I looked into this life more, and I looked into my feeling, and this really opened up my mind. So I'm going to keep doing this a lot more, and I'm trying to connect to even more lives with this other person to get a better understanding of myself, and also the logic in it, because the more experiences, the more memories I have, the better I can understand even my current self. And this experience was really mind-blowing and extremely scary at the same time. And it also really explained why he even could trigger me, because this is something I didn't really understand how that was until I had these memories, or I don't even know how to call them, experiences. So the very first thing I could feel, so these are, first of all, when I had my past life regression, and I can remember, it's always within the body. This is how you feel. These are your theta brainwaves, and you can feel it everywhere. It's like it's happening as of now, like from a past life. I could feel when I relived, like smashing mugs. And I could feel, like, as it was happening now, I could feel the weight of the mug in my hand. It was so mind-blowing. And this is how you get memories, that when the energy, the emotions flow through your body, they are more descriptive. You get a lot more information a lot faster. So these emotions tell you a story a lot faster than anything else. So it's very interesting and very helpful. And with this person, the connection, the energetic connection wasn't in the body. That's the thing. It skipped the body and it went straight to this Kundalini line, these very deep energies. And the scariest part was that when I had these very deep connections, when I tried to resolve things that came up with him, my own fight, I'm always fighting and trying to resolve things, I got connected back to that. So this emotional part is missing, and it goes straight to, and these very deep, very heavy energies. And this is something that you have to really think about when you think about your energetic self, that the deeper the energy is, the more power it is. It can override you more, and it can also make you feel alive more, which means that they are extremely addictive. But that addictive part means the strength of the loop. How many times you have repeated it, how strong it is within you. And also that's why the strong loop is the deeper the brainwave is. And what I felt, because I could finally feel, it's more like an energetic talk. And that was exactly the same when I got connected to very deep parts in the reptile part, even when I was processing things in my mind, these very strong energies. And now I just put my attention at, okay, I want to feel how I felt in that life, and it went there straight away. And I could feel like his energy is like this coming towards, and this dominance. So that is the energy of him, and that's why he could even trigger me. I didn't know why it happened, but this was the thing, that I became emotional. And as soon as I became emotional, when you become emotional, your neurocommunication is going to be on a different part. And that is why I was able to sense that energy that is within him, and it was always in him. It was just invisible for me. And it's very likely invisible for him. But this made me really think again, because what my energy within that life is that I want to be, I don't find the right words because these are feelings, energetic feelings, like I want to be controlled and someone who is stronger or more dominant. Probably that's the best explanation. And this is really scary because in my life, in this life, my third core thing, so the first one, not to be unfair, and in this life I am unfair, not to be used and not to use others. In the other life I use someone. And the third one is not to be controlled and protecting others, not to be controlled. And in that life, that's my core desire. And that's exactly how that person is. And it's really interesting because in this life, he is not like that. He is the complete opposite of that. And that version of me really shows. So I was really into, okay, this is the 3D version and that is going to be another 3D version. That's the 4-dimensional. But there is a step before that. And when I got this information, but I'm going to get even more, I actually realized that it's the representation of this front part. Because the front part is this more narcissistic, how people view me. I want to be accepted by the group. So basically I repress myself, but by repressing myself, I repress the person as well. And this was the very thing that the relationship didn't work, because that type of a person wasn't, I don't think that's the right for like presentable or someone that would have been accepted by society, or I didn't see him as something like that. I don't really know the right words. That's a problem with this, that you can have the feeling, but it's really difficult to express it with words. And this is where it shows that there was a very deep connection. So it's not even chemistry, because chemistry feels different. It's something deeper than chemistry. Like I got connected back to do those energetic attraction. I don't even know what the right word is, but it's deeper. It's so much deeper, and under deeper, it's like heavier, and you can really feel it. And I repressed, so I didn't even repress him by leaving him, but I had to repress that version of myself in order to kind of follow what society told me to do, to be the good girl. And this is the funny thing, because I don't see myself, so in this life, I don't see myself that way. And this version of me that I see there, this is very similar to the version of me I started this life, because in this life I wanted to be this good girl as well. But then I realized, and I was really social and following social rules, then society is full of shit and most people are unhappy although they follow the rules. So I'm going to find out my way. And so this is really interesting that this version is very close to this life I started, probably until my late 20s. And even this relationship, like when I could sense that other person, I'm just like, oh my fucking god, this is very similar to my ex-husband. Because one of the main things in him as well, like I got divorced a long time ago, and I always say I'm happily divorced, that he was really dominant. So he was this really, really strong person. And even in this life, like when I got shifted, I had these energetic shifts a few years ago, and from this back of the body where the vagus nerve is, I got moved to the front of the body where there is another vagus nerve. This is the social part. And when I got connected to that, I got really connected to my head. And this is how I got disconnected from my twin flame. So that attraction, that natural attraction path started to fade away. And at the end, it completely disappeared. And I remember this is what really scared me. That I think once or twice, finally, because he is more like this passive person, which I don't really like in people, but look, everyone is who they are. More dominant, and I could feel that really fired up my nervous system. So this, when I experienced this, I'm just like, this is really scary what I have seen here now, because it means that this person from that life, or I don't know now how even say, could really trigger this part of me. So now I'm at a stage that instead of trying to analyze, I think I just get more information. And this is something I really want to focus on. I know I said it a few times, so I really have to do this to focus on past life regression with other people as well, because the knowledge people can get from these deeper parts are so helpful. They can help you really shift your mind. But of course, if you don't have the pattern system, these experiences are not going to be enough. So just to have a lot of things coming up, that's not enough. You have to also have the mental process as well. So these two have to work together, the energetic self and the analytical self. And I really want to create and shift also. I started a website, a new website now, that really focuses on two things. One of them is going to be past life regression, and this is where I'm going to shift even with this channel. But I want to go through my own thing. That's the key here, that I really want to see what is possible. And the second part is because I also started to use ChatGPT a lot to create guidelines and how to use it to process that information. So you can really be independent on your own, but also it's not just the independence on your own, that you can be on a certain analytical stage that when you go to, I don't know, a therapist or whatever, you already have some knowledge. Because this is something I have seen over and over, that the problem is that people go from one person to another person. They have very limited self-awareness, or they have the wrong awareness of themselves, and they feel disappointed. And it's really difficult. Like, I've been to therapy as well, and I've seen life coaches as well. When you are on the spot, especially if you are more introverted like me, and it's really good to work it through on your own as well. So by the time you go to see someone, they can accelerate. So basically they can scale, because you are not at the starting point. You are already somewhere, and it's going to be a lot easier to work with you and help you even move forward and shift your mindset. So this is something I'm really planning in the future, and I'm going to dig even deeper into this, because this really shows, and I'm going to seriously look into Enneagram even more, because I keep promising and shadow work, that this really shows that these parts where the Enneagram parts try to integrate first. And this is kind of how we are, that there are these different parts, and certain people are more dominant in one part, and other parts seem less dominant, but they come out somewhere else. So this is something I'm also working on to get a better understanding. But these opposites that you experience are in you, and this is the scary thing, that the I would say, like, your biggest fight is also in your other lives, and how to integrate them, that this fight would stop within you, and how to connect, how to make yourself aware that you are able to gain the knowledge of your other version and to connect to your other version, and how you can kind of talk to other people to get their insight in and accelerate your self-awareness journey. So at the moment, instead of analyzing, I have a lot of questions, and I'm going to get the answers for them. See you in my next video.